Morning amigos, Dr. Doug here at BodyTrust.com, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. I recommend looking up, if you have a family, if you're in a family I should say, looking up this BBC Health article. Came out yesterday, September 3rd, in the health section, and it's called Teenager Blind from Living Off Crisps and Chips. By that they mean potatoes. Just potatoes and white bread, an occasional piece of meat. That's all he ate. At 14, he was diagnosed with vitamin deficiency, and he was having trouble with his vision. So he let it go. And guess who else let it go? Whoever he's living with, which this article doesn't even talk about. That's fascinating in itself. So at 17, he's legally blind, and it's found that he is deficient in selenium, copper, vitamin D, and B12. Okay, B12 is only found naturally in animal-sourced food. So if you're a vegan, you really eat a bunch of yeast, or B12 fortified this, that, or the other thing, right? Because it's not natural, of course. It's natural to eat a little bit of meat, anyway. Just potatoes and white bread is not natural, and of course that's malnutrition. That's happening all over the world in poor countries, in poor poor neighborhoods. People are suffering from this kind of thing. Well, here's a white boy in England who's got this problem, and of course, the authorities are recommending that he get with a dietitian and that he get with a mental health team. Unfortunately, they're not mentioning the family, because I tell you that almost all physical and mental health problems having to do with children relate right back to their relationships. And in most cases, that means the nuclear family, or maybe even a slightly extended nuclear family, which is not natural to the human species, by the way. For 300,000 years in the Stone Age, we lived in villages. We lived in clans, where every adult assumes responsibility for every child. Well, that's not what we live, most of us in the modern world, mom and pop and kids, which of course is not natural and therefore not healthy. And so we all come from some kind of dysfunction, or are participating in a dysfunction right now. And we all need help. We all need therapy all the time. I'm telling you, when I hit puberty around 12 or 13, I was becoming a different person. And my parents didn't know what to do. They had no clue what to do about that. They needed help. We needed help right then and there. It would have solved a whole lot of problems for me. And for them too. I mean, their relationship was, 14 years old. Could use some communication, some clarity. That's what therapy does for people. It clarifies things. Because we have too many understood agreements that are not voiced and discussed openly, like in a democratic manner, like you would have in a community or a clan or village. So there's my take on that. It's too bad. Now, the other thing they said is that, oh, this is permanent. This is a stupid comment, because nothing is permanent in this universe that we can figure out. It's all impermanent, and impermanence is increasing as evolution increases exponentially, especially medical technology. In 10 years, they'll be able to fix this guy's vision using tissue replacement as well, and that's my guess. And a lot of other people agree with me on this, but they're not widely known, they're not widely publicized. You might check out The Singularity is Near by Kurzweil. I'll give you a little heads up on future tech, medical tech. Anyway, there you have it. Don't eat just rice and cabbage. This is what happened to a lot of Chinese people. Rice and cabbage, rice and cabbage, rice and cabbage. Yeah, you're going to have problems. Now, in the United States, they want us to be always concerned that we're going to be vitamin D deficient and vitamin this and vitamin that and this and all. No, this is a rich fat country. The only thing we need to be concerned about is getting out in the sunlight so we can get vitamin D, because that's where our bodies manufacture vitamin D. It's from sunlight. People are glued to their screens, and he probably was too. This boy, glued to a screen like most 14-year-olds. Anyway, back then he wasn't listening to his body. When he was 14, he was not listening, and neither do anorexics. They're not listening to their bodies. Neither do overeaters, undereaters, overeaters, malnutrition. If they can do something about it, and they don't, it's because they're not trusting themselves. Lack of self-trust is the basic problem here. That's my take on it. Check out that article. It's really fascinating. That's all I have for you today, amigos. See you tomorrow. Hasta mañana.